Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day. Don't forget, grab your smartphone and download the Lava Matra app and stay in touch. Guru Mahārāja's message is your advantage. The following is a Sri Kṛṣṇa Caitanya book compilation given by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Mahārāja on March 31st, 2022 at New Panihati Dham in Atlanta, Georgia, USA.
Refutation of Vivarta-vāda, the theory of illusion. Under the section, How all the residents of Varanasi became Vaishnavas. Caitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, Chapter 7, Text 121.
শক্তি পরিণামবাদ ই ব্রহ্মসূত্রে স্বীকৃত ব্যাসের সূত্রেতে কহে পরিণামবাদ ব্যাস ভ্রান্ত বলি তার উঠাইল বিবাদ
In his Vedanta Sutra, Srila Vyasadeva has described that everything is but a transformation of the energy of the Lord. Shankaracharya, however, has misled the world by commenting that Vyasadeva was mistaken. Thus he has raised great opposition to theism throughout the entire world. Purport. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains in the Vedanta Sutra of Srila Vyasadeva, it is definitely stated that all cosmic manifestations result from transformations of various energies of the Lord. Shankaracharya, however, not accepting the energy of the Lord, thinks that it is the Lord who is transformed. He has taken many clear statements from the Vedic literature and twisted them to try to prove that if the Lord, or the Absolute Truth, were transformed, his oneness would be disturbed. Thus he has accused Srila Vyasadeva of being mistaken. In developing his philosophy of monism, therefore, he has established Vivarta-vāda, or the Mayavad theory of illusion. In the Brahma Sutra, 2nd chapter, the first aphorism is as follows: Tad ananyat vam arambhana sadhan bhitaya. Commenting on this sutra, in his Shankaracharya has introduced the statement Vacharam hanam vikaro namedheyam from the Chandogya Upanishad to try to prove that acceptance of the transformation of the energy of the Supreme Lord is faulty. He has tried to defy this transformation of energy in a misguided way, which will be explained later. Since his conception of God is impersonal, he does not believe that the entire cosmic manifestation is a transformation of the energies of the Lord. For as soon as one accepts the various energies of the Absolute Truth, one must immediately accept the Absolute Truth to be personal, not impersonal. A person can create many things by the transformation of his energy. For example, a businessman transforms his energy by establishing many big factories or business organizations. Yet he remains a person, although his energy has been transformed into these many factories or business concerns. The Mayavadi philosophers do not understand this simple fact. Their tiny brains and poor fund of knowledge cannot afford them sufficient enlightenment to realize that when a man's energy is transformed, the man himself is not transformed. He remains the same person. Not believing in the fact that the energy of the Absolute Truth is transformed, Shankaracharya has propounded his theory of illusion. This theory states that although the Absolute Truth is never transformed, we think that it is transformed, which is an illusion. Shankaracharya does not believe in the transformation of the energy of the Absolute, for he claims that everything is one, and that the living entity is therefore also one with the Supreme. This is the Mayavad theory. Srila Vyasadeva has explained that the Absolute Truth is a person who has different potencies. Merely by his desire that there be creation, and by his glance, sa akshata, he created this material world, sa ashrajata. After creation, he remains the same person. He is not transformed into everything. One should accept that the Lord has inconceivable energies, and that it is by his order and will that varieties of manifestations have come into existence. In the Vedic literature it is said, Sa tattvato yatha buddhir vikar ityudharta. This mantra indicates that from one fact, another fact is generated. For example, a father is one fact, and a son generated from the father is a second fact. Thus both of them are truths, although one is generated from the other. This generation of a second independent truth from a first truth is called vikara, or transformation resulting in a byproduct. The Supreme Brahman is the absolute truth, and the energies that have emanated from him and are existing separately, such as the living entities and the cosmic manifestation, are also truths. This is an example of transformation, which is called vikara or parinama. To give another example of vikara, milk is a truth, but the same milk may be transformed into yogurt. Thus yogurt is a transformation of milk, although the ingredients of yogurt and milk are the same. In the Chandyoga Upanishad, there is the following mantra, Aitaratmyam idham sarvam. This mantra indicates without a doubt that the entire world is Brahman. The Absolute Truth has inconceivable energies, as confirmed in the Svetasvara Upanishad, Parasya Shaktir Vidhaiva Shruyate. And the entire cosmic manifestation is evidence of these different energies of the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord is a fact, and therefore whatever is created by the Supreme Lord is also factual. Everything is true and complete, Purnam. But the original Purnam, the complete absolute truth, always remains the same. Purnat Purnam Udhachyate, Purnasya Purnam Adaya. The absolute truth is so perfect that although innumerable energies emanate from him and manifest creations which appear to be different from him, he nevertheless maintains his personality. He never deteriorates under any circumstances. It is to be concluded that the entire cosmic manifestation is a transformation of the energy of the Supreme Lord, not of the Supreme Lord or Absolute Truth himself, who always remains the same. The material world and the living entities are transformations of the energy of the Lord, the Absolute Truth or Brahman, who is the original source. In other words, the Absolute Truth, Brahman, is the original ingredient, and the other manifestations are transformations of this ingredient. This is also confirmed in the Taittiriya Upanishad, Yatova imani bhutani chayante. This entire cosmic manifestation is made possible by the Absolute Truth, the Supreme Personality of God. In this verse it is indicated that Brahman, the Absolute Truth, is the original cause, and that the living entities, jivas, and the cosmic manifestation are effects of this cause. The cause being a fact, the effects are also factual. They are not illusion. Shankaracharya has inconsistently tried to prove that it is an illusion to accept the material world and the jivas as byproducts of the Supreme Lord, because, in his conception, the existence of the material world and the jivas is different and separate from that of the Absolute Truth. With this jugglery of understanding, Mayavadi philosophers have propagated the slogan Brahma Satyam Jagan Mitya, which declares that the Absolute Truth is fact, but the cosmic manifestation and the living entities are simply illusions, or that all of them are in fact the Absolute Truth, and that the material world and living entities do not separately exist. It is therefore to be concluded that Shankaracharya, in order to present the Supreme Lord, the living entities, and the material nature as indivisible and ignorant, tries to cover the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He maintains that the material cosmic manifestation is mithya, or false, but this is a great blunder. If the Supreme Personality of Godhead is a fact, how can his creation be false? Even in ordinary dealings, one cannot think the material cosmic manifestation to be false. Therefore, Vaishnava philosophers say that the cosmic creation is not false but temporary. It is separated from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but since it is wonderfully created by the energy of the Lord, to say that it is false is blasphemous. Non-devotees factually appreciate the wonderful creation of material nature, but they cannot appreciate the intelligence and energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is behind this material creation. Sripad Ramanujacharya, however, refers to a sutra from the Aitreya Upanishad, Atmava idam agrash ashit, which points out that the Supreme Atma, the Absolute Truth, existed before the creation. One may argue, if the Supreme Personality of Godhead is completely spiritual, how is it possible for him to be the origin of creation and have within himself both material and spiritual energies? To answer this challenge, Sripad Ramanujacharya quotes a mantra from the Taittiriya Upanishad that states, Yatova imani bhutani jayante yena jatani jivanti yat prayantya viman vishanti. This mantra confirms that the entire cosmic manifestation emanates from the Absolute Truth, rests upon the Absolute Truth, and after annihilation, again re-enters the body of the Absolute Truth. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, the living entity, the living entity is originally spiritual. And when he enters the spiritual world, or the body of the Supreme Lord, he still retains his identity as an individual soul. In this connection, Sripad Ramanujacharya gives the example that when a green bird enters a green tree, it does not become one with the tree. It retains its identity as a bird, although it appears to merge with the greenness of the tree. To give another example, an animal that enters a forest keeps its individuality, although, apparently, the beast merges with the forest. Similarly, in material existence, both the material energy and the living entities of the marginal potency maintain their individuality. Thus, although the energies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead interact within the cosmic manifestation, each keeps its separate individual existence. Merging with the material or spiritual energies, therefore, does not involve loss of individuality. According to Sri Ramanujapad's theory of Vishishtadvaita, although all the energies of the Lord are one, each keeps its individuality, Vaishishtya. Sripad Shankaracharya has tried to mislead the readers of the Vedanta Sutra by misinterpreting the words Anandamayo Bhyasat, and he has even tried to find fault with Vyasadeva. All the aphorisms of the Vedanta Sutra need not be examined here, however, since we intend to present the Vedanta Sutra in a separate volume.
So, Lord Vishnu requested Lord Shiva to present Mayavad to bring back the Buddhists to the Vedas.
So Lord Vishnu requested Lord Shiva to present Mayavad to bring the Buddhists back to the Vedas.
So, with that, Shankaracharya is not at fault. He's just carrying out his service to Lord Vishnu.
So with that, Shankaracharya is not at fault. He's just carrying out his service to Lord Vishnu.
But he did that very expertly, and so many people are bewildered.
But he did that very expertly, and so many people are bewildered.
And they think that the absolute truth changes.
And so people are bewildered, and they think that the absolute truth has changed.
So the absolute truth always remains the same.
But actually, the absolute truth always remains the same.
This time he has unlimited energies, and the energies transform.
It's just that he has unlimited energies, and the energies transform.
Vyasadeva is the avatar of Vishnu or Kṛṣṇa. It's very offensive to say he made a mistake.
Vyasadeva is an avatar of Vishnu or Kṛṣṇa, and it's very offensive to say that he made a mistake.
So Shankaracharya, he said that Vyasadeva made a mistake.
Shankaracharya, he said that Vyasadeva made a mistake.
And gave his reasons why.
And gave his reasons why.
So he was saying that the Jagat is mithya.
So he was saying that the Jagat is mithya.
Material world is false.
Material world is false.
We're saying that the Vaishnavas, Acharyas, say that the material world is temporary, but it's not false.
But we're saying, as the Vaishnava Acharyas, that the material world is temporary, but not false.
And the Brahma Samhita and the Brahma Saraswara Kṛṣṇa Satchidananda Vigraha Anadi Adi Govinda Sarvakarana. He is the cause of all causes.
In the Brahma Samhita, Krishna is called Sarva Karna Karna, the cause of all causes.
And he doesn't change. He transforms energies and they change.
But he doesn't change. He transforms his energies and they change.
So he has water energy, he has spiritual energy, and he has the Tatastha Shakti.
So he has the spiritual energy, he has the material energy, and he has the Tatastha Shakti.
The Jayapataka.
The Jayapataka.
The Shankaracharya, he is trying to present that we are all absolute truth.
So Shankaracharya, he is trying to present that we are all the absolute truth.
And it's very offensive.
This is very offensive.
Kṛṣṇa is the cause of causes, but he not transformed as Shankaracharya said.
Krishna is the cause of all causes, but he is not transformed, as Shankaracharya said. Adi Lila, chapter 7, text 122.
গুরুকে ভ্রান্ত জ্ঞানে মায়াবাদীর বিবর্তবাদ পরিণামবাদে ঈশ্বর হয়েন বিকারী এত কহি বিবর্তবাদ স্থাপনায় করি.
Translation. According to Shankaracharya, by accepting the theory of the transformation of the energy of the Lord, one creates an illusion by indirectly accepting that the absolute truth is transformed. Purport. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur comments that if one does not clearly understand the meaning of Parināma-vāda, or transformation of energy, one is sure to misunderstand the truth regarding this material cosmic manifestation and the living entities. In the Chandogya Upanishad, it is said, Sanmula Somhyemaha Prajashad Ayatanaha Sapratishtaha. The material world and the living entities are separate beings, and they are eternally true, not false. Shankaracharya, however, unnecessarily fearing that the Parināma-vāda, transformation of energy, Brahman, would be transformed, Vikari, has imagined both the material world and the living entities to be false, and to have no individuality. By word jugglery, he has tried to prove that the individual identities of the living entities and the material world are illusory, and he has cited the examples of mistaking a rope for a snake or an oyster shell for gold. Thus he has most abominably cheated people in general. The example of misunderstanding a rope to be a snake is mentioned Mandukya Upanishad, but it is meant to explain the error of identifying the body with the soul. Since the soul is actually a spiritual particle, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, Mamaivam so jiva loke, it is due to illusion, Vivarta-vāda, that a human being, like an animal, identifies the body with the self. This is a proper example of Vivarta, or illusion. The verse, Atatvato Jnata Buddhir, Vivarta Ityudharta, describes such an illusion. To not know actual facts, and thus to mistake one thing for another, as for example to accept the body as oneself, is called Vivarta-vāda. Every conditioned living entity who considers the body to be the soul is deluded by this Vivarta-vāda. One can be attacked by this Vivarta-vāda philosophy when he forgets the inconceivable power of the omnipotent personality of Godhead. How the Supreme Personality of Godhead remains as He is, never changing, is explained in the Upanishad. Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnam Eva Shishishate. God is complete. Even if a complete manifestation is taken away from Him, He continues to be complete. The material creation is manifested by the energy of the Lord, but He is still the same person. His form, entourage, qualities, and so on never deteriorate. Srila Jiva Goswami, in his Paramatma Sandarbha, comments regarding the Vivarta-vāda as follows. Under the spell of Vivarta-vāda, one imagines the separate entities, namely the cosmic manifestation and the living entities, to be one with Brahman. This is due to complete ignorance regarding the actual fact. The absolute truth, or Parabrahman, is always one and always the same. He is completely free from all other conceptions of existence. He is completely free from false ego, for He is the full spiritual identity. It is absolutely impossible for Him to be subjected to ignorance and fall under the spell of a misconception, Vivarta-vāda. The absolute truth is beyond our conception. One must admit that He has unblemished qualities that He does not share with every living entity. He is never tainted in the slightest degree by the flaws of ordinary living beings. Everyone must therefore understand the absolute truth to possess inconceivable potencies.
Prabhupada asked us to learn the Ishopanishad.
Prabhupada asked us to learn the Isupanishad.
Ishopanishad is also published by the BBT.
Ishopanishad is also published by the BBT.
So, Kṛṣṇa always remains the same.
So Kṛṣṇa always remains the same.
Even though His energies transform.
Even though His energies transform.
That is the meaning of the Absolute Truth.
That is the meaning of the Absolute Truth.
Never changes.
That He never changes.
The Mahārājas, they think that everything is impersonal.
The Mayavadis, they think that everything is impersonal.
And then they think that the Absolute Truth transforms.
So then they think that the Absolute Truth transforms.
Themselves as God.
They think themselves as God.
And they have this misunderstanding.
They have this misunderstanding.
Now, Lord Caitanya, He's speaking to all the Mayavadi sannyasis.
Now Lord Caitanya, He is speaking to all the Mayavadi sannyasis.
He is explaining the Vivarta-vāda.
He is explaining the Vivarta-vāda.
He is explaining the mistake of Shankaracharya.
He is explaining the mistake of Shankaracharya.
They think Lord Caitanya was a sentimentalist, but actually now He presented very elevated philosophy, which is defeating the Shankaracharya concepts.
Well, they think Lord Caitanya is a sentimentalist, but now he's presenting very complex philosophy that is defeating the Shankaracharya concepts.
And this is something very, very wonderful. So it's been put in the Adi Lila because he wants that Kṛṣṇa Chaudhuraj wanted that this impersonal philosophy should be defeated at the very beginning of the CC.
So this is put in the Caitanya Charitamrita in the Adi Lila because Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami wanted that this Mayavad philosophy be defeated from the very beginning.
Having the absolute truth, Krishna being explained very clearly.
So we are having the absolute truth, Krishna, being explained very clearly.
This entire world is not false. It's temporary.
And this material world is not false, it's temporary. Chapter 7, text 123.
বিবর্তের আশ্রয় বস্তুত পরিণাম বাদ সেই সে প্রমাণ দেহে আত্মবুদ্ধি এই বিবর্তের স্থান.
Translation: transformation of energy is a proven fact. It is the false bodily conception of the self that is an illusion. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The jiva, or living entity, is a spiritual spark who is part of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Unfortunately, he thinks the body to be the self, and that misunderstanding is called Vivarta, or acceptance of untruth to be truth. The body is not the self, but animals and foolish people think that it is. Vivarta illusion does not, however, denote a change in the identity of the spirit soul. It is the misconception that the body is the self that is an illusion. Similarly, the Supreme Personality of Godhead does not change when his external energy, consisting of the 8 gross and subtle material elements listed in the Bhagavad Gita, Umir, Apo, Nalo, Vayu, etc., acts and reacts in different phases.
So, we hear other times that we are not the body.
So we hear many times that we are not the body.
Because we are actually the spirit soul in the body.
We are actually the spirit soul in the body.
Swami, he said, people call me as a pandit, and I say I'm a fool.
Sanatana Goswami, he said, people call me a pandit, but I say I'm a fool.
I don't know who I am.
Because I don't know who I am.
Please tell me who I am.
So please tell me who I am.
Caitanya said, Jiva Sulvai Nitya Krishna Das.
Lord Chaitanya said, Jivara Swarupahoy Nitya Krishna Das.
Our nature is to be eternal servitor of Lord Krishna.
That our nature is to be the eternal servitor of Lord Krishna.
So, people think that the body is made of transformation of material energy.
So people think that they are the body, and the body is made of the transformation of the material energy.
So, Prabhupada was explaining how life comes from life.
But actually Prabhupada was explaining how life comes from life.
Not revealed from Krishna, and similarly, we manifest the body as part of, we're not actually the body.
That we came from Krishna, and similarly we manifest the body, but we are not the body.
So, my bodies, to have this misconception that impersonal.
So the Mayavadis, they have this misconception that we are impersonal.
And Lord Caitanya is presenting that we're actually a person.
Lord Chaitanya, he was presenting that we are actually a person.
And when he met the Turks and spoke on the Quran,
when he met the Turks and spoke on the Quran,
then we see many followers of Islam think that Allah is impersonal.
you see many followers of Allah or Islam think that Allah is impersonal.
Actually, there's one verse that says Allah is impersonal.
But actually there is one verse that says Allah is a person, is impersonal.
All the other verses say, I am merciful. You don't think like merciful.
But all the other verses, they describe him as kind and merciful. You don't think of a light as merciful.
All these qualities of Chaitanya, he also took as a person.
And he is explaining the absolute truth as a person.
We'll read one more verse.
So we'll read one more verse.
বিবর্তবাদ খণ্ডন প্রথম অচিন্ত শক্তিমান ভগবান অবিচিন্ত শক্তিযুক্ত শ্রী ভগবান ইচ্ছায় জগৎ গুরু রূপে পায়ে পরিণাম.
Translation: The Supreme Personality of Godhead is opulent in all respects. Therefore, by his inconceivable energies, he has transformed the material cosmic manifestation.
And Kṛṣṇa has this unlimited potency.
Krishna has this unlimited potency.
Not simply by his desire, his energies can create anything.
That simply by his desire, his energies can create anything.
And he doesn't change. Energies change.
And he doesn't change when his energies change.
So this is the wonderful nature of Kṛṣṇa, that he can create anything by transforming his energies.
So this is the wonderful nature of Krishna, that he can create anything by the transformation of his energies.
And when he always remains the Supreme Personality,
And he always remains the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Haribo! When Lord Caitanya went to South India, he manifested some pastimes that he didn't even do in Navadvip.
When Lord Chaitanya went to South India, he manifested some pastimes that he didn't even do in Navadvip.
See, in Navadvip, he respected the Smarta Brahmanas.
In Navadvip, he respected the Smarta Brahmanas.
But when they went to South India, he would see people on the street and embrace them.
But when he went to South India, he would see people on the street and embrace them.
So even if they were Smarta Brahmins, but he would transform them to lovers of Kṛṣṇa.
So even if they were Smarta Brahmanas, he would transform them into lovers of Krishna.
So this is something that he didn't do in Navadvip.
So this is something that he didn't do in Navadvip.
See, Lord Caitanya is Kṛṣṇa himself, but he manifested this extreme mercy
See, Lord Chaitanya, he is Krishna himself, but he manifested this extreme mercy.
Radharani played the flute quite beautifully.
Radharani played the flute very beautifully.
And Krishna said, "Who's playing the flute? So nice."
And Krishna said, "Who's playing that flute so nice?"
And there, he saw Radharani was playing the flute.
He went there and he saw Radharani was playing the flute.
And Radharani had made Navadvip Dham.
Radharani had made Navadvip Dham.
9 islands. Simantadev, Adradev, Madhyadev, etc.
9 islands, Simantadweep, Madhyadweep, Godramdweep, etc.
And so Lord Kṛṣṇa, he said that you made this beautiful dham for me, so this place will be not different from Vrindavan.
So Lord Krishna said, "You've made this beautiful dham for me, this place will be non-different from Vrindavan."
And Kṛṣṇa and Radha combined, and Kṛṣṇa took the heart and color of Radharani.
So Radha and Krishna combined, and Krishna took the heart and color of Srimati Radharani.
He became Gauranga. And so Lord Chaitanya had all the mercy of Radharani.
So Lord Chaitanya had all the mercy of Radharani.
And we're here in Navadvip. This is also part of Karmanda Bhumi.
So we're here at Nūpanihati, and this is also a part of Goramandal Bhumi.
Narottam Das Thakur was saying, Goramandal Bhumi, Ivajana Chandamani, Chārhai Bhadra Bhumi. Who understands that this is a Chintamani Dham, he will be living in Vrindavan.
Narottam Das is saying that that person who understands that Mayapur is also Chintamani Dham, then they will be living in Vrindavan.
Technically, he said Goramandal Bhumi was a little bit bigger than Mayapur.
And technically, he said Goramandal Bhumi is a bit bigger than Mayapur.
Sridham, Srichatra goes up to Ramuna.
Sri Kshetra, Jagannath Puri, goes up to Ramuna.
And Mayapur, Goramandal Bhumi goes down to Ramuna.
And Mayapur, Goramandal Bhumi, goes down to Ramuna.
And it goes up beyond Kṛṣṇa to a little beyond.
And it goes up beyond Kanai Nakshala, a little bit beyond.
And then in the east, it goes to birthplace of Advaita.
And then east, it goes to the birthplace of Advaita Gosai.
Northeast.
Northeast.
Southeast. So the Nidhi was the guru of Gadala in Koilila.
So the appearance place of Pundrik Vidyanidhi in the southeast, Goramandal Bhumi extends to there.
So there are many holy places in Bangladesh.
So there are many holy places in Bangladesh.
Many holy places in West Bengal.
Many holy places in West Bengal.
So the Panihati Dam is a part of the Garamanda Bhumi.
So the Panihati Dam is part of Gauramanda Bhumi.
And Lord Nityananda, he would have his Chiradai festival there.
And Lord Nityananda, he would have his Chiradai festival there.
Do you like our ad-free videos? Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day, and don't forget to like and share our channel.